Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
They're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly, Miller's still such up. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry!
Triple Bypass Racing is a NASCAR-inspired iRacing league founded by a group of friends, some of who have been racing together for more than 20 years. They are an inclusive group of sim racers who enjoy competition based on respect for fellow drivers and fun on and off the track. Triple Bypass is building a great community and a place for you to race for years to come. Join them today by visiting triplebypassracing.com. On November 14th, 2023, the Triple Bypass Late Model Series thundered into Martinsville Speedway for the 10th race of the season. The race was sponsored by number 28, Matt Harmon, and covered live on YouTube by our friends at JP Broadcasting. In a thrilling 90-lap contest that kept viewers on the edge of their seats, we witnessed some outstanding racing. The track witnessed only 7 caution periods, which was a great showing at what is usually a caution-filled event. From the get-go, Justin Haslett, the pole sitter in the 027 car, demonstrated his speed. With 33 race points and 4 bonus points, he led the pack, but only for 19 laps. He gave up the early lead to number 31, T.A. Hood, who led 65 laps but fell out of the top 5. It was the 027 that finished in first and also recorded the fastest lap of the race on lap 90 with a 19.57. Following closely behind was the 16 of Justin Bentley, finishing just 0.52 seconds behind the leader. Bentley's terrific drive earned him 31 race points. The drivers battled fiercely, and Bentley showcased his racing skills throughout the race. Number 75, Thomas Haslett, secured the 3rd spot, finishing just 0.98 seconds off the lead. Haslett's performance added to the family's success, contributing 30 race points. He didn't have the tires to push for the lead in the final laps, but had a terrific race result. Jeff Slaughter and Ryan Hyatt both were part of some major on-track mayhem, but battled through to finish 4th and 5th. Making friends wasn't the goal in this race for these drivers. This race at Martinsville Speedway was a captivating display of racing and strategy. Each driver left it all on the track, creating memorable moments for the league. We hope you enjoyed this Triple Bypass Late Model Series recap. We'll see you next time.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, for the Triple Bypass Round 11 from the Kern County Raceway in Bakersfield, Kern County, California. Opened in 2013 and was a replacement for the Mesa Marin Raceway. I am James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined in the booth by the mighty Dean Biggles for On the Edge Racing, who have sponsored this evening's event as well, sponsored by T.A. Hood there as well. Let's bring you up to date with the standings as they currently are at this moment in time. We have got Justin Haslett out in front on 367 points. Then you got Jeff Slaughter on 262. Al Corey on 252. Thomas Haslett on 236 with James Honeycutt on 227. Ryan Hyatt on 223 with Nick Howder on 218. T.A. Hood Jr. on 216. Jared Jackson on 216 and Matthew Harmon on 196. That is the top 10. We've got 16 cars gonna take part here in this one. We've got 105 laps, 1 fast repair, fixed setups. The lucky dog is on, and is the wave around as well. Welcome in. We're at 10. Over or under on yellows? I say 5. Austin Draper says 12. I'm saying 7 here as well. Hi, JPB. It's so late for you, isn't it? It is. It's about 1:45 in the morning, but today's race sponsor is by TA Hood here, who has kindly sponsored this event as well. So don't forget, guys, if you want to get involved with some epic racing, head over to the website for the triple bypass, and you can go and check them out. All links down below in the description. triplebypassracing.com. Join the Discord, get yourselves involved in Gen 4s. You can get involved with the late models that we've got here this evening. NextGen as well, and they've got road racing just to throw it in. Yeah, but welcome in to this one with the On Edge Racing team, who have kindly sponsored this evening. Let's bring in Dean Hopton into the booth, the mighty Biggles man himself. Well, welcome in, dear sir. How are you?
I'm grand. Thank you very much there. Speaking of On Edge Racing team sponsoring this one at the moment, Brian on top of the timesheets there, Brian Dickens there, Nick Holder and Thomas Hazlitt, all from the On Edge Racing team on the top 3 as well, too, separated by, look at that, James, just a pinch of salt really between them. It's short circuit, as you can see. It's basically a big oval more than anything, but as well as Thomas Hood that you saw there, as well as the driver sponsor for the track here this evening on the On Edge Racing. Welcome everybody in the chat as well too. As you said, place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. It's not the Las Vegas GP in Formula 1, but it is the TBP Late Model Series sponsored by JPB. If you want to get B's in there, James. But yes, On Edge Racing. You're going to be on the edge, mate. That wall's going to come out and bite you.
There's a lot of BBBs and BPTs and all this in there at the moment. You know what I mean? So, you know, let's just keep it nice and straightforward here once more, as we are into the back end of qualifying here, guys. And currently we've got Brian Dickens sitting on pole with an 18.568. Track temperature 32.78 degrees, partly cloudy here before it all goes off a little bit later on. It's going to be absolutely incredible racing here with these amazing cars that we've got, the late models out on track. Well, if nothing else here, Biggles, as you've described it to me as a loop that people just go round and round and round and round, they're going to be turning left quite a lot here this evening with an 18-second lap and 105 laps to complete. That's a lot of turns for them to contend with.
It's going to be interesting on how they're going to be able to take care of those tyres. Cautions, of course, brings everybody together. Cautions breed cautions, or safety cars breed safety cars, as we're used to, James. But in this neck of the wood there, you got a little bit of different terminology, but I'm pretty sure everybody that follows motor racing understands what it is. It always comes down to tyres, it comes down to balance, it comes down to concentration. And obviously, when you are talking about these late model cars as well, too, it's all about taking care of business. It won't be the super speedway that you have with those bump drafting as much as you go, side drafting, bump drafting, and all that jazz that you are used to when it comes to super speedways there, James. I mean, we're not so much familiar per se when it comes to it. Was a little tap to the fence almost there for the 15 machine there of Nick. But yeah, hey, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day where you start. It's all about where you finish. Do you see Barney first after all those laps?
Yeah, it will be as well. It's who's going to get to the end on this half mile here circuit. 8 degrees banking on the straights. You've got 14 degrees on the corners. This is the paved oval version as well. Don't forget, it's a very interesting circuit. It holds such events as the K&N Pro Series West, the Whelen All-American Series as well, and the SRL Southwest Tour. You know, it's very interesting. I was looking at this a little bit earlier on, and this is the first time I've ever been to this raceway, and they do so much here. It is literally insane. They do speedway bikes. They do pretty much most things that you can think of on the asphalt track and on the dirt track as well. It's a very, how can I put it, sort of utilized circuit. It can do a lot in the same thing, and that's what makes it so interesting. You know, it's the World Team Dirt Track for the Professional International Speedway, Team USA versus the World. You know, it's got 360 sprint cars going round here as well. You got speedway bikes kicking off. You got Dwarf Car National on the dirt track. It is just used for pretty much everything. And I think that's what makes it a very interesting speedway. We have got these cars on circuit. We've got these late models, these big griffin machines who are going to go around this half mile in about 18.5 seconds here, Biggles. This is going to be one for the ages. It's who's going to be able to keep it on track, who's going to be able to maintain their composure to make sure they don't stack it up here as well. And I believe we have got one Mr. Al Corey in the booth. Al, how are you?
I'm very well, gents. How are you tonight?
I'm very, very well, thank you. I'm still awake here, so, you know.
Let's not go there, James. Let's not go there.
I figured that you might bring that one into me, Al. What can we do for you this fine evening?
I just thought I'd drop in and say hello before the race gets underway. Our heats are about to start in about 8 or 9 minutes, and just wanted to drop in and say hello. And we're also excited to be at Kern because it's the first time our league has raced here, and it's a great track. I'll tell you, it may be tough for passing though. I'm not seeing much except the low line working tonight, so that'll be really interesting.
Well, I was going to get you while you're here real quick there, if you can't tune into what we have on Discord at the moment, if we still have some drivers, I wanted to get your perspective as a race driver. So we're trying to find a driver going around the track at the moment there. What is the tricky part of this, as we're currently riding on board with Ben Harcum? What is, in this, basically almost a complete oval, what is the difficult turns for you and how do you manage it?
Yeah, like I said, it looks like the low line is fast. Anything above lane and a half up from the white line looks to be pretty slow. Your car can get loose, especially coming out of the exits, so out of 2 and out of 4. If you get too much wheel into it, you can definitely get loose and spin the back end around. And the reason that guys will have too much wheel in it is because of that wall. It just absolutely comes at you like a lightning bolt coming out of the exit. So you'll probably see a couple guys with too much wheel in it and too much gas, and they might lose the back end.
All right, quick question for you, Al. How many cautions are we predicting here this evening?
I think if we get off to a good start, if we get 15 or 20 laps in and we get spread out a little bit, I think it could be a pretty clean race. We'll see. We've had some good luck at short tracks. We had a good race at Martinsville, and I think this will be a good one. So I'll say the over-under will be 4.
Oh, we've got some over-unders on 5. We've got Austin Drapers in YouTube saying 12.
Well, he clearly hasn't seen triple bypass racing before.
No, I've said 7, and I have seen you before. So
yeah,
we've seen Martinsville. Al, it cost me a cup. You know what I mean? So I've seen Martinsville, and I'm being optimistic with 7.
Yeah, it could be 7. Let's hope not. We don't have a huge field tonight, so that might also be helpful.
And Al, tires, my friend, tires and fuel. What about that from a driver's perspective? Are you expecting to change a couple of boots, and what about fuel?
So no tire changes in this series, so that's right out the window.
Wow.
And I think we're going to be good on fuel. Fuel should not be an issue. As far as the tire fall off, I just finished a 25 lap run, and my right front was down almost to 80%. But the lap time wasn't that much slower. So what I suspect is we're going to see lap times drop really late in the race. I think that's when guys will really be struggling, and I wouldn't be surprised if you'll see some guys going backwards on old tires. But for the first half of the race, I would expect everybody to be pretty even.
And no need to go into the pit road unless you want to get the old gaffer tape out then, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly. And since there's no caution laps don't count, if people do have damage, they'll get a chance to get in there and fix it.
Well, there you go. Let's hope, Al, you have a good one there, buddy. And we can see the, well, hopefully green to checker without any issues.
That sounds great to me. Have a great broadcast, guys, and thanks.
And you, man, take care.
Yeah, I was going to say, Al out there needs to get out there too, James. He's 9th currently at the moment with a, what the best lap time there. I mean, there's a lot of drivers on the similar lap times. It's at 18.71, 18.57 is the time to beat O'Brien, which I don't think he's going to have time to do it there, James. Unless he does get back out there. Get on the loud pedal as much as possible. Look at the drivers sliding, and they're obviously it's an indication, isn't it, that they're just absolutely gunning it, gun-ho. They probably just came out of pit road. The tyres are cold, like it is in the UK, I believe, at the moment. There with you are, James. You're probably just snuggled up there at the moment. There.
Hey, absolutely freezing.
At least you don't have to worry, mate. I wish it was like that. My computer put all the hot air on me right now when broadcasting. You know, these things like a heater. It's great, but yeah, that's all you need.
It is literally freezing.
Wow.
The only good thing for me is I'm sat in an office that's closed in. I've got no windows or anything, so I've got like a I want to say like a portable fan air conditioning unit tucked up behind me. So when my computer decides that it wants to get really hot, my office gets really hot. So I end up putting the fan on anyway. But before this, I had the door open and the cold air was coming in. I was sat under one of them like schnitty things, which is like a massive jumper that's extra large. I could probably fit 3 of me in there as well. Welcome in Kevin Campbell. Kevin has said 8 cautions here this evening. So, you know, there's a lot of different varieties, I think, of what we expect the racing to deliver here. I think, you know, this is the first time for me. It's the first time for Triple Bypass. It's a half-mile circuit. You know, it's not very big. It's got the capacity of like 4,000 to 15,000 people in there at this main point. You know, and I don't think it's massive kind of circuit, but it does a hell of a lot and a heck of a lot of racing on different things. So if these guys can get through this without very minimal sort of damage to themselves and you know, damage to their cars and damage to literally, you know, they've got to get it to the end. And I think that's one of the important things here at this circuit. They've got to get to the end. I don't know if we're going to expect, you know, 2 columns of racing. I'd be very surprised on that if Al said there's only really 1 line around the bottom. I'm expecting single file. Passing is going to be a bit of a mission, I think, Biggles. So let's just see what goes on.
What, the walls are going to be a big issue. I think it'll come out and bite you at the moment. There, Al, you better be taking that wall out to a lovely restaurant. Look at the steering wheel as we ride on board at the moment. Look how much he turns it. It's going to basically go off your screen. We all know that little indicator, that little red stripe is your center indicator of a steering wheel. You can see Al at the moment there, you know, keeps it straight here, turns it right in now. How far deep does he turn it? There it is. It's off the camera, almost gets to the end of the pitches, gets on the loud pedal. That indicates to me that that's good. He's not fighting the machine, is he? He's not struggling with it. We saw that with a couple of other drivers on board before. They were twisting and turning around that button. He's slowed down at the moment, and he's just put another little hot lap in. But has not improved on his time there, James. So anybody else out there, of course, that is aware of how you should go around this track correctly. But once again, it's going to be a matter of keeping it out of the fence. I do expect, really, a ton of cautions based on what we've seen so far, just in this qualifying session and a little bit of the practice session. Yeah, that fence is good. Look at the scruff marks on there at the moment there, James. Get a Sharpie, my friend. Start signing your autograph. The Wall of Champions is all around us here, if this was Canada.
I definitely agree. I think this is going to be a very interesting evening as well. We got JC Campbell, John Campbell. Now, John, I don't know why your YouTube's name's Kevin, but hey, welcome in, John. Hope you're well there, bud. Where are you this evening? Why are you not driving around here? You're not doing this. What's going on here as well? Don't forget, guys, coming up on the JPB YouTube channel this week, there is lots as per normal. Radical Race Series are back on Thursday. Then we got the TSRC Round 5 multi-class. They're going at Road America this Friday. Also at the same time, we got the JPB TCRs Round 9. there at Road Atlanta. The VWSC Historic is from Homestead, Miami on Saturday. We've got Sim Racing for Simpletons Round 6 from Road America as well. Racers Elite Mix Series from Stafford in the Whelan. That is on Friday night. For you wonderful Americans, we've got the Premier Endurance Series coming this weekend as well. Don't forget, we've also got Big Dreams, Little Voices, the JPB charity event in aid of the Rainbow Trust. We're doing 6 hours of Brands Hatch in the GT4s or the TCRs. So if you want to get yourselves involved, join the JPB League's Discord down below. And let's not forget, Sunday night, we've got the IGP F3 Series as well. So a lot of racing happening this week, guys. So don't forget to get yourselves involved. If you do want to take part with the TCRs or GT4s in the Big Dreams Little Voices, then please sign in to the Discord. Don't own the track, traveling interstate today, says John. Well, I suppose that is one of the things can't really help, John, can we? You know what I mean? So let's see. Here is the grid for the first heat of the evening. Brian Dickens is on pole. Thomas Hazlitt in second. Ben Harkin third. James Honeycutt in fourth. Then Al Corey, Oliver Turan, Matt Harmon, David Rhodes, and then Justin Hazlitt. They will be the first group out on track as we're going around on this pace lap here as well. Don't forget, go check out the JPB merch store as well for Christmas jumpers and hats in the winter, and there's cups on there and t-shirts and wonderful things that you can go and get yourself, or send them to your other half as a present. Give her nothing wrong with a JPB hat, keeps her head warm in the winter. But let's get this up and running as we go into the 13-lap heat before we go into the main race here after that. So let's see what goes on here as well. Biggles, it's going to be exciting. 13-lap sprint, almost 2 heats, and then we go into the main. What's going to happen?
Yeah, 12 to go. It's going to be very, very quick. So you're not going to be wanting to mess around at the moment there and purchasing some of that. You want to have time to purchase some of that fantastic merchandise you mentioned there, James, at the moment. If you are obviously in your neck of the woods, I'll be getting a couple of jumpers or sweaters and stuff like that. They call it here in the States there. Yeah, well, a couple of swim togs and thongs, as we call them here in Australia and stuff like that in the States. Anyway, we won't go into there, but we will go in. Keep an eye on 75, 122, 76 and 78. Al Corey, as you mentioned, he will be in this first heat race. You got Matt, David Rhodes there, and Justin Hazlitt. So it's anybody's game here, James. Anybody.
We are up and running once more. Hazlitt is out in that pole position. Brian Dickens now on this run over the line for the first time with these late models here at Kern County. You can see on your screen at the moment we have got the number 75 running high and wide once more here, as we can let you know who that is. With a 122 of Brian Dickens out in front currently at the moment. Nick Howder is in that second place car with James Honeycutt sitting up behind him. We're on already that 12 to go, so let's keep an eye. There's a big old snap and slide there as well from the 002. That is Oliver Turan, who just got that all wrong here, Biggles, with 11 to go.
Yeah, a lot of them are getting it all wrong at the moment because it's all going over the place at the moment. So you've got 6 positions gained for Justin at the moment. Al Corey's giving a bit of a run for his money. Ben's down 5. Thomas is out. No time to recover from this one at the moment. Brian still leading that way up the road there from James. So that's looking good for them too. But this is where they're heating up at the moment there. Can Al talk what he's talking about before? Keeping it out of the fence there. In the back there, Oliver and Matt. Here it is, James. 10 to go.
We're coming in now as well. You can see them with 9 laps on the board at the moment. We've got the 45 of Al Corey here trying to chase down Riot Hyatt with Oliver Turan. He got that car all a little bit wrong coming out of the corner. There was another snap there as well. It's going to be very difficult for some of these drivers once more to try and keep this car on the circuit. Let's see what goes on as they're trying this single file line, which is what we expected here in the heats. If you can't tell, sorry about the left-hand side there as well. We will reload the tower to get it all set properly once more, as it's all gone a little bit squirrely here as well. Over the line we go. Brian Dickens, Nick Howder, James Honeycutt, Justin Hazlitt, Ryan Hyatt, Al Corey and Oliver Turan, with Ben Harkham down 5 places, sitting at the back of this first heat here as well. Great racing Single file action at the moment, looking like passing's going to be more and more difficult. Let's see what goes on here, Biggles.
James is starting. Justin's starting to really creep in. James, I was talking about you, James. That's Justin on James. That's a battle for P2 at the moment. I think at the moment Brian should have this one. Look at that. He's got a huge gap, but James is struggling. And if he doesn't get something done, Al Corey's in the background here with 5 to go here, James. And I'm at the timing table up there at the moment, but you can see on your pictures they are right next to each other anyway. Don't worry about Dickens. He's at least a little bit up the chain. I think Dickens has got this, but who wants P2? At least in the heat.
Dickens. Yeah, he is out in front here as well. Howder, Honeycott, Hazlitt. You can see now Howder is being pushed along from Honeycott here, with Hazlitt is sitting there in that 4th place, just sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting till we see what happens here once more on the 4 to go. We're going to find this out in about 1 minute and 5 seconds here, looking at about 18-second laps. Once more, it's going to be a tightened circuit. They're going to have to see if they can get round and try and make some overtakes. We said that don't want to be coming off that top line as they are at the moment. He's trying to go underneath. It's the 27 of Hazlitt here. He's bullied Honeycott off that inside line. He's now got that bottom line run. Can he keep his nose in there with 2 to go? It's all about what's going on here for Kern County. It's all about Honeycott, Hazlitt and Hyatt battling it out for that 2nd, 3rd and 4th spot, but he just couldn't keep his nose in that inside line. And now you can see there Honeycott has come straight down and taken it away from him.
I think he's gambled it. I think he gambled a little bit much and a lot to settle for that one. And Brian has done whatever Brian needed to do, easy peasy. But then we will go back to that one. So Brian has the first heat won and dusted, but in the inside, it could be late dive there for the 27 machine. That's Justin Hazlitt there. James could have got him in the line. He may have got him almost at the line there. Al in the background there, settling for the P4. We'll get that in a second there, James, as it's going to be confirmed in the timing table. There's a little bit slow to update on that because it's all over and done before you blink.
Yeah, you can see Brian Dickens, your winner, with Nick Howder there in 2nd, Ryan Hyatt in 3rd. Then you've got Thomas Hazlitt, Mark Herzog here once more. Now this is the 2nd heat here kicking in. That's the running and your results from heat 1. Brian Dickens, it was out in front of Justin Hazlitt in 2nd. James Honeycott got 3rd with Al Corey 4th. Oliver Turan in 5th. Matt Harmon 6th. David Rose 7th, Ben Harcombe and Thomas Hazlitt were your 8. So here we go once more for the 2nd heat here. And let's see what goes on in this 2nd heat and see who will be doing it. It's going to be Howder on pole, then Hyatt, Herzog, Slaughter, Hood Jr., Louis Flowers, then Grant Parker and Matt Perezzini at the back. The 8 cars battling it out for this one. And once more, we will go again here. First heat done and dusted, Biggles. Some fast action-paced racing there. And I don't expect much more from this, anything different from this 2nd heat.
No, yeah, because they're going to risk it for the biscuit, aren't they, James? But hopefully not too much, because it's huge positions gained there, help you out for the main race. This is just a little sprint, of course. 13 laps, you go 13 laps at a Formula 1 track. You'd be like, okay, well, James, you get the popcorn fired up, mate. That's plenty of time, but not on this very, very short track. As you know, they're only doing basically, half a minute and change, not even that. So in this heat, you have 8 of these gladiators to challenge their way around this arena. And at the moment, Nick and Ryan. Now, I think at the moment, if you practically got that pole that Nick has at the moment for the 15 machine, you keep it, cool, calm, and collective. You can do exactly what happened in heat 1, be up the road there. The rest of the battles are behind, but we'll see, because a lot of the drivers did come up close to the fence there, went up very, very wide, dropped a ton of places very quickly, James. So we shall see. And any place your bets out there, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, it costs you absolutely 0 to gamble.
Here we go. Then the pace car is going to be coming off here. It's going to take us a whole of about 234 seconds, which is technically about barely 5 minutes of racing in these heats for these 13 laps, after me doing some quick maths in the background. But then again, don't trust me at 2:10 in the morning. You never know what number's going to come out with, but we'll rely on it there as well. Let's see here once more as we're about to go green. Howder is out in front on this one. He's still on on that top line. He's just got that position there as well. So, oh, there's a big old accident in the middle. Are we going to get a yellow or are we not? That's the 57 car of Mark Herzog. Green all the way here now, and they're still battling it out with that 40 of Ryan Hyatt, pushing his way through in that, well, that wonderful liveried machine there with Howder underneath. It's going to get very, very difficult here once more, Biggles, for these cars to make the overtake.
And we have our driver sponsor of the day there, Thomas, currently hovering in P4 positions, gaining that place after Mark had gone around. So we saw that in the first heat race, and we're going to see it again in this one, no doubt. But this is a little bit more bunched up there. Ryan does not have that massive advantage like we saw in the first sprint. So he's going to have to get it done. And he's going to have to get it done all by himself. He's breaking the wind there at the James. It's like putting your hand out the window, isn't it? When you're driving on the freeway and feeling all that friction. That's exactly what's happening. But further back at the moment, look at Lewis has got a challenge to the inside there of our race sponsor.
He's gone round it. There was contact all day. Yes. There was contact there. He stuck his nose in. There was contact. We've got 10 to go. You're going to find this out in 180 seconds, if that here. Once more with that 52 machine up and running, and let's see what goes on here. As you can see, the battle, Hyatt and Howder nearly nose to tail here. Then further back from that one, you've got Louis Flowers is also in the mix, and Thomas Hood Jr. battling away behind them. So we'll bring you up the driver details at the bottom left very, very shortly here once more, so you can see who we're looking at. But it's going to be 8 to go. It's going to be Hyatt. It's going to be Howard. Howder, then Flowers, then Hood, then Parker, and then you got Slaughter. Jeff Slaughter here as well with Herzog and Perezzini. Perezzini's not in this one, unfortunately. He's out at the moment. But this is the heat race before we get on to the main race of 105 laps of this very short circuit once more here for this on-edge racing triple bypass league from Curtin County here, Biggles. 7 to go. Hyatt's out in front, Howder's following close behind.
I thought they were going to catch the back marker at the moment there. I think that was Mark. I don't think they'll catch him in time. So 2 battles, 2 sprints here. Battle for P1 and P2. Battle for P3 lurking in the background. We'll keep this focus up because 6 to go. It's going to happen very, very quickly. This is the closest. I think Nick up high on the fence. He's going to size up at the moment. Ryan's going to slide at the moment. And Ryan's going to cover the inside line off there. That's what you heard before, wasn't it, from Al? Touches the fence there, James, but nowhere for Nick to go. He'll have to set it up the inside here, but there's no room. You're going to rumble in the jungle with the 40 machine, my friend Nick. You're going to have to get your best hunting gear out because Ryan's hunting his way for the Sprint 2 victory.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's trucked up right behind him at the moment as well. There was an incident at the back of the field there. I think Flowers might have got it all a little bit wrong. Did manage to collect it there once more. So let's see how this one finishes off. We've got 3 to go once more. Hyatt and Howder still battling away. It's difficult for Hyatt to get through, Howder to get through. He's got to stick his nose up on the left-hand side here. He's got to try and bully him to see what goes on. And let's see what happens as they're coming over now with 2 to go at this very short Kern circuit here as well. It's still Hyatt and Howder trying to battle their way through. Howder's trying to push up the inside. He's going to open up the door here. He's got to get up there. He's got to be forceful. He's got to get his elbows out. We're going to be on the final lap this time around. There's going to be contact. Howder's gone. Hyatt's going to pick up the win, I think. It is going to be Hyatt once more. And Hyatt should come over and finish this off here. Very short, sweet, sharp and done. Well, there you go. That was Heat 2 here as Hyatt comes over the line, takes that victory here once more. So great short racing. Now we go into the 105. Now we go into the one that matters.
I give it to Nick. I give it to Nick Halter, didn't he? He stuck his nose in, James, as you like to say, like, you know, like a plastic surgeon. Bang, done. You get it chopped off. But the thing is, he gave it a shot, right? And he gave enough distance there. It didn't quite work out. He lost too much of the rear end. It slid out. But then again, he still managed to regain the P2. So to me, that was well worth the attempt at trying to gain that P1 position in the heat. And it didn't pay off. But you know what? Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, he didn't lose it and then didn't crash. And so it is what it is. There's your Heat 2 results.
Yeah, Ryan Hire takes the victory with Nick Howder in second, Louis Flowers in third, Thomas Hood Jr. in fourth with Jeff Slaughter in fifth, Mark Herzog sixth, Grant Parker and Matt Perozzini there down at the base end of this one. But now let's see here what goes on, and let's see what kicks in for the 105 laps once more. And we'll see how we get on. Did you enjoy them sprint races at home, guys? Let us know who you think is going to take it, who's going to take the win for the main here, who's going to take the 105, who's going to come out victorious as we're here at Kern County Raceway. It's a very, very short, sharp half-mile oval in Bakersfield, California. So let's see what goes on once more here, Biggles. Well, if that's going to be anything to go by, I've got a funny feeling we're going to see just one lap of racing, one line of racing, one continual path from these guys. I think overtaking is going to be very, very difficult.
It's going to be very, well, as you saw, you're going to have to put your nose in there and you're going to have to trust the other drivers there to let it. But the difference is, James, because we had that heat sprint race, drivers are going to be on the super defense, like you always see in oval racing. It's fair game, it's fair play. A lot of drivers don't mind. Okay, you lead for a little bit, you lead for a little bit, I'll come back. You know, it's kind of like you see the circle the racing that you see in the Olympics, of course, with bicycles and things like that around the tracks. They don't mind yielding that, they don't mind following people, because during this main feature race, it's about saving tires. And if you're gunning it and going as flat out as they were, trust me, your tires are going to be falling off the cliff by the end of this main race. So they're going to be happy to yield a few positions to drivers, and then at that point, you know, switcheroo. It's going to be coming down when you get to those dying stages of the race, is when they're going to be like, okay, you know what, friendship's done, no more friends. We are now going to be competitors and sometimes even mortal enemies on the track, because I want to win the race, and that's it. You know, throw any of their alliance out the door. So that's going to be the difference with this main feature race now.
Yeah, I think it is. It's just going to be getting to the end. I think that's what's going to be more important here once more. Here is the grid. Brian Dickens is on pole position with Ryan Hyatt in second, then Justin Hazlitt. Nick Howder in fourth with James Honeycott in fifth. Louis Flowers in sixth. Al Corey seventh. Then Thomas Hood Jr. in eighth, today's sponsor. Oliver Turan ninth. Jeff Slaughter 10th. Matt Harmon 11th. And Mark Herzog is rounding off your top 12. Then beyond that, we have got David Rhodes in 13th, Grant Parker 14th, Ben Harcombe 15th, Matt Perozzini 16th, and Thomas Hazlitt down in 17th place.
Yeah, speaking of a driver sponsor, there is the lovely Thomas Hood on the On Edge Racing course, one of our sponsors here this evening for the triple bypassing machine. Of course, sponsors we do appreciate, because it keeps these fantastic broadcasts going out there, as well as, of course, all the other drivers and administrators and everybody that contributes in this, as well as you, the audience and the fan, for supporting your drivers, your family members. James freezing his buttocks off at whatever time in the morning it is in the UK. It all shows support, doesn't it, James?
It definitely does. It's only 2:20, mate. You know what I mean? God blimey, if we're going to be awake, we might as well stay awake and have done with it. But I think this is going to be, if they can get away, if they can open up the first 10 laps, I think this could be a very clean race. Now, I know we've got guesstimations in YouTube chat about whether or not we got 6, 7, 5, 8, whatever goes on. But I think at the end of the day, it will be that major factor. If they can get away cleanly, this should and could well be a nice, clean race. But it's times like this we're going to find out how it goes. It's times like this when we will know what develops here. 105 laps at about 18 seconds. It's going to be fast. It's going to be action-packed. It's going to be very, very, very quick, as we're going to be up and running. The green flag is off.
We've got
and now we're under our first caution before we've even got across the line.
It was David Rhodes, my friend there. David's like, where is the road? It's an oval. Sorry about the pun there, David, but This goes to show you the cold tires, isn't it? He's got on a loud pedal there, James, and unfortunately the car there has the number 12 machine's disagreed at the moment. So let's have a look. You saw it just in the background of your pictures. This is just before the pace car peeled in. You see how he is? Actually, he might have got caught. He got tagged from behind.
Got caught from behind.
Yes.
Yeah. Was that was that 78 or Harkham who tagged him from behind there?
It looked like it. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
We'll go to a shopper cam, hopefully. Yeah, we can see.
Yeah, it does look like Ben Harkham may have brought it up there. But I got a funny feeling there was also contact from behind. They all start to go, and then they check up. And then he just unfortunately goes into him. So before we've even gone anywhere, we are on lap 1, caution number 1. Let's hope this isn't how could I put it? A floodgate. I'm trying to think of the words. It's very early in the morning. A floodgate of cautions. I think that's what we don't want now. Because of the short nature of this circuit, it's going to be very, very tough. Well, I think he's going to knock it out. He's got to do the fronts there, because I've got a funny feeling that he's probably had a little bit of damage. But caution 1 on lap 1. Not an ideal start there, Biggles.
Well, not too bad, actually. No, actually, so I'm opposite of that, James, because look at that. The pack's still bunched up. You're still under caution. At least you get those dents bent out there and you get back in. In fact, he's not even going on the pit road, James. He's going all the way back around the inside. Yeah, and he can catch back up to the pack. So, and considering you've got 17 cars here, this is obviously the difference between road racing that we do, and that's what I love about oval racing, and the fact that if you are plump last, my friend, you still have a grand opportunity of winning a race. It's not like, Max, you're going up against Max Verstappen and you're in a car. He's parked completely here at the moment. That is definitely his pit road. We don't quite see it properly, but yeah, he's stopped in there for a very quick second. So he should still be able to catch the back of the pack. And you cannot say that a man cannot win this race at this point, because he certainly could. There it is. End of line for contact from Kevin. Thank you very much for that one. Talking about James and I, with not the absolute best experience when it comes to oval, we do rely on everybody out there to give us that information. But I can guarantee you that even though Matt is last place in this race with Ben that you just saw before, everybody can win this race. I mean, Al's down here. He's lost 8 positions at the start of this race. There's no way that Al could not win this race. There's 105 laps, James. We have 104 to go. Plenty of things can happen.
I don't doubt that. I really think that he will move up, and I think at the end of the day, he's probably going to be there or thereabouts, to be fair, because, the way these kind of races work, obviously, with the whole NASCAR format in general, as the late models is, a yellow flag comes out or a caution comes out, you've got the wave arounds, you've got the lucky dogs, but we've got a green flag here as well. And now we are going to be running now. Dickens, Hyatt, Hazlitt, Howder, Honeycott, all the H's in the top 5 there as well, with Hartman and Herzog with number 13 place. That's Thomas Hazlitt a little bit further down with Ben Harkham in here as well. Blimey, how many H's have they got here at the end of this one, as he's flickering around once more to give it a minute to settle down on that timing tower on the left hand side there. He will come back into it. 7 here, 105 on the clock, 98 still to go here, Biggles, and it's been that single file racing that we predicted.
And Brian is in the lead of this race, even though it shows roads in the pit road. It just takes a little bit for iRacing to catch up to that, because it's such a short circuit as well too. So once again, we've seen Brian just pull away, hasn't he, in the Heat 1 race. He just gets up the road there. He's gone. He's like, bring on the next track. There has been a few little incidents in the back there as well, but hey, it is what it is, and the drivers are doing it. We are expecting a lot of cautions during this race, being a short circuit, then the way that they're sliding around the track there is almost like Tokyo drifting the way around it, or one of the other car series we always seen before, the junior car James. But anyway, look at that, the single file. Look at the track map, James. You're already starting to catch the likes of David Rhodes, who's a lap down at the moment. Matt, I think, is maybe retired from the session that he has, actually, so the Dan runs out. Eagle Motorsports. But further back, there's some brilliant action building up there between Lewis Flowers there and also Thomas Hazlitt and Matt Harmon. But still, Brian leads this race on lap 7.
Yeah, he definitely is here as well. He's got the jump on the front. We've got Dickens, Hyatt, Hazlitt, Howder and Flowers trying to chase him down. Excuse me. As we've got Honeycott now, he is under pressure from Oliver Turan, who's up 2 places in that Bush Light machine. Here, sitting in 7th place. Off the round they go, coming out the exit of 2. It's just about settling in at the moment here. They've got to just try and get as close as they can up that draft level if possible. They're going on that 14-degree banking. Now dropping onto the 8 degrees, coming into the final 1-2 once more here as well. Very quick laps. If they can keep it green, this will be absolutely amazing. The show will be over in 35 minutes, believe it or not, if it is kept green flag racing. But let's see what happens here once more. First 10 down. And everybody at the moment is still running. Matt Perezzini, I don't actually think managed to join it. As you can see there at the bottom, today's race sponsor is Thomas Hood, who is in today's race at number 41 machine, a brightly coloured machine here of these late models, battling it out there as well. There's somebody tucked up right behind once more. That's the 46 of Jeff Slaughter. He's going up the inside of Oliver Turan. He's bullied him off that inside line. Slaughter's going to have the position, and you've got Herzog trying to come through underneath him. Herzog again. Turan's going to get hung out like a pair of dirty laundry, I can tell you that much. If he can't get back on that inside line, he can not only lose position to Slaughter, Herzog, and he should possibly lose it to Hazlitt here if Hazlitt keeps bullying him off that line as well. And he has done exactly just that. He lost 3 places from that inside line there, Biggles. As soon as he got off that line, Turan was strung out the outside, couldn't do nothing about it, and now it's down 3 places.
Yeah, hanging the laundry out, as you said, isn't it? And they are starting to hang the laundry out. Like you said, the leaders are still battling to bunch up there. A little bit of a gap at the moment, only a tiny gap between 4 and 5. Up on the high line at the moment goes the number 12 machine. Was it number 12 machine? I'll get a little bit more on that because I keep looking at the In-N-Out burger, getting hungry at the moment, James. We want to talk about food. But there it is. So Thomas getting that position at the moment, Mark getting in, then Thomas has it at the moment. Hazlitt on edge racing, Ashley on the edge there for the 75 machine. Still, Ryan in the lead of this one, but not at a big gap that he had. Brian has been overtaken. We've missed that a little bit. So there it is. Ryan's taken that one, and Justin Hazlitt as well too. So got Hazlitt family in the edge racing. 15:91 to go, James. We'll go quick. Hopefully go quick. Green, guys. They are keeping it green and clean.
They are normally pretty clean here in the Triple Bypass Racing League once more. And you can see the battle here with Hazlitt in that 3rd place with Flowers in the 4th. Then behind that, you've got Howder and Honeycott. Biggest gainer at the moment is Thomas Hazlitt. He's down in 10th. He's up 7. Biggest loser is Al Corey. He's down 6 here, sitting in 13th place as they're going on the exit of 2 once more. They're all getting bunched up now. Flowers has got to go and try and stick his nose up the inside of Hazlitt. He's got to try and bully him off the line. That's the thing. That's the very, very definitive action here, is they've got to get him off that line. You can see the single file racing that they are doing. It takes one mistake, and I've got a funny feeling that's how Hyatt got through on Dickens. Dickens opened the door up, made one mistake going in a little bit too hot in the inside, and he made that move and stuck his nose up there, just bullied him off that line and said thank you very much. But you've seen with Oliver Turan what goes on if you get bullied out. You're gone. 3 places gone, 4 places gone. If the field was jumped up and budged up, he would be right back down the back end of this field. So they've got to be careful when they're trying to make any manoeuvres. The only manoeuvre they can make here, Biggles, is up the inside. It seems a very one-line racetrack. There you go.
Yep,
that's the point. Yeah, exactly on point with Jeff Slaughter. One mistake, now you're going to see the drop on the outside line. Herzog's going to follow him through. He's going to bully out to get him off the side there as well. That's the 41 car of Thomas Hood Jr. Now the 75 of Hazlitt is also coming through as well. He's going to bully him off. He is going to get strung out. Now Turan's going to come underneath him. And you can see how quickly he drops. It's like line washing falling off the line on a windy day. You're just going up and it's flying away. And that is exactly what happened to Thomas Hood.
It could be a strategy, James. It could be a strategy. Remember, they're saving tyres. You heard from Al when he popped in briefly at the start of the show there. It's going to come down. Time manager at the end there. There's a little tap of the fence there. So for Mark, So that's going to start to, you don't want to be tapping the fence too much, as I said. You want to be buying some flowers with love. Lewis knows about flowers, doesn't he? He's currently running in P, so yeah, I love that 62 machine. But yeah, James, you got to remember, it's a long game, not a short game here. And you don't want to be risking it for the biscuit a little bit too much there. And we'll see about that. Please let us know in the chat, though. I know Kevin's sharp as a tool out there. He's the sharpest tool in the shed. He knows, look at that, another contact defense. And we're talking about early days here, James. 82 to go.
Yeah, 82 left on the clock. They're coming by thick and fast. JC Campbell in chat. Austin as well here once more. Popped in for his second broadcast of the day as Austin, after jumping into the MX-5s earlier on. We're at 10 overall under 5. Well, at the moment we're under. Herzog's now making his way through there once more. He has just managed to clear the 15. That's Oliver Turan with Nick Howder. Nick Howder's just got a little bit pushed off the line. And now Turan's trying to get that car underneath him. Can't quite bury it underneath at the moment. Why, Hood is coming back, making up for the fact that he lost 3 places early on. Now through the banking of turn 2, coming out of that exit onto the flat side of 8. Now 8 degrees on that backstretch. Now we go into turn 3 and 4 again. This on-edge racing 105 at Kern County Raceway Park. Absolutely going off with his triple bypass league. There's a mistake there from Dickens. Is that Dickens on the outside? I think it is. Yeah, Dickens on the outside. One mistake going on the exit of 2 there, Biggles, and that's the problem. He's
that's
now
all
down
it takes
3.
you. It only takes you a little tank sliper of the fence there, and you can drop places. But luckily, he's pointing in the right direction. It's not a wreck, and he's still in this race, as well as even one of those gladiators, 14 of them. We have a couple of drivers in the lap down, but look at those drivers in the lap down. They're not completely going to be overtaken or anything like that, James. You don't have to worry about James getting crazy about his blue flag rule. This is when it really comes into play later on there, James, with the blue flag. But once again, Ryan in the lead of this race, right in the 40 machine there from Justin. And then Lewis Flowers in the background there. They've gained 1, 1, and 3. So you said that Lewis, 62, has gained 3. Setting up the inside a little bit there. Oh, don't leave your door open, Justin. Justin did leave the door open a little bit, didn't he? But then again, he's closed it, James. You know, about being burgled. This is one place you do not want to be burgled.
No, you could go into turn 1 and you'll be in the lead, and with how close they are at the moment, by the time you come out of turn 1, if you're on that outside line, you're not going to be on that lead anymore. And there you go once more. There's another maneuver underneath him, one here with Hazlitt. Louis Flowers moved himself up 4 places, taking that second spot behind Ryan Hyatt in that very amazing liveried machine that he is there, with that kind of almost leopard print setting on his car. And now as we go on board with Flowers looking up the inside, you can see there as well there's somebody else on the outside here. I think that is Jeff Slaughter might be out on the outside. I don't think it is. It's actually Howder is on the outside line, and Nick Howder's down 7, sitting in 11th. And that, there you go, is a definitive thing of what we said. Don't do it. Turan's trying to go up the inside as well. He's sticking his nose up. Be careful there, son. You don't want a plastic surgeon's knife chopping that one off. And at the moment, you've got the 75 in front of you, Thomas Hazlitt, who's making his way through, up 9 places once more. So it's all getting very, very close here, Biggles. Very action-packed as we're coming to what will be the end of lap 34.
And it could be a run from Jeff on the inside here. This is 46 machine on the inside, 76 on the outside. There it is. So when the door gets left open, James, you definitely slam it shut, and he has. But we still got to remember, look at 76 can lose it. Mark's going to say, hey, I go up in the inside here as well. Allow enough space in the fence. Go ahead.
Yeah, he can't get back in. Can't. That's the problem.
Oh, there's a
contact. That's Turan. Oliver Turan has gone round. He's done some pirouettes there as well, and unfortunately for Oliver Turan, he has gone down with the 41. That's Thomas Hood Jr., our sponsor of today. So we're on caution number 2 on lap 45, and that was Turan and Hood coming together. So at least we did have 34 laps of action before this happened.
So look at this is actually saying that the accident was here, but you know it wasn't. It was Turan, you said.
Yeah, Oliver Turan got spun round.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, I apologize. There's a lot of action happening at the moment there, James. You're 10 times better at me than doing the broadcasting behind the scenes there. But we'll see if we get that one for you, of course. We have time.
Yeah, just back up from that. Just whack it in reverse.
Okay. Yep. Anyway, yep, you're right, James.
You'll see where the contact. There you go. He just comes in.
Right,
the problem is now play it slow because you'll see that Turan goes in a little bit deep. He gets a little bit squirrely. Now, this is where Hood has got the option. Turan's already left that door open. Hood's now got an entranceway. He's got a gateway. It might not be a gateway or a stairway to heaven, but he's going to have a go. And Turan just come down. And unfortunately for Hood, there was nothing he could do at that speed. He spun Turan, then gives him a little kiss on the way. While you're there, son, just push him up into the number 15 as well. Drop him off in front of Nick Howder and say he's all yours. But Thomas did manage to hit the brakes and stop in time as well. So
there you go, Thomas.
Let's see what goes on.
Today's race sponsor, he'll get a pit stop at the moment. He did go into pit road at the moment. And there you go, Thomas. So you get a little bit of spotlight there, my friend. Not the best way you can actually get it, but it is what it is. It's called the motor race. You will get that. Our caution, we're expecting a few of them this evening, but we did have some fantastic racing. And we still have Matt. Well, we have Oliver's gone. Oliver's gone in pit road. No, I'm getting a little sticky on that one there, James, because the pit road entrance is going to trick the telemetry. That's what I'm meaning about the telemetry being stuck to the guidelines of what it's telling us, because this is the first time you and I have ever been here, so we do apologize if we're not experts at that one. Yeah, get James in Silverstone, or how about James and I in Interlagos? We're going to tell you every nook and cranny of that track, wouldn't we? But
the thing with the circuit, as we've seen, it's a very one-line run circuit. You know what I mean? Turns 1 and 2 are tighter than 3 and 4, you know, and that's the thing. They've got to be aware that that is coming in. Turn 1s and 2s are tighter than 3 and 4. So they've got to be careful approaching 1 and 2. They can't go sticking their nose up on the inside if 1 and 2 is going to tighten up on them, because 3 and 4 needs to be the one where they're going to get a run out. They want to already get it done. We're back up and running in green. Hyatt's got the jump once more. Hazlitt, Flowers, Dickens and Slaughter are your first 4 as we go away. Back up under running a green here. 36 laps on the clock. 105 to finish it off. And as you can see, Dickens is trying to come under the inside of Flowers. Flowers he just cannot get down. Dickens is trying to run that bus side draft. He knows he needs to come in. He knows he needs to come down on him. He knows he needs to force a gap, and he just cannot force the gap. Now everybody behind that whole queue on the restart could just tuck in behind Dickens and say thank you very much for leaving him out there. They've strung him out. Here he goes. By the time he can come round in the next couple of laps, I can guarantee Flowers is not going to be on that position. He can't get in. Yeah. He's trying to muscle his way through. He's not getting in.
He could now.
He could now. He's got to jump on Dickens, and he has done there. And he's managed to get back in, but boy, oh boy, for Flowers, that was a very nervy moment. He was probably screaming in that car, saying, please let me in, because I need to get back in. Otherwise, I'm going to be sliding down the order as we got caution number 3.
It must have happened a little bit further back. I think it was Honeycutt.
Looks like...
but that was great racing, actually, as you said, isn't it, James? Closing the door, they get in the right place at the right time. I would love that to continue a little bit further under green conditions. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Sometimes that iRacing dictates that even if a driver has a solo accident, and let's have a look at the number 76 machine.
He's going to come down. Watch the front and watch the run of the 76. He's going to get tagged there.
No, he gets lost on his own there, James. That rear end went out. Yeah. I didn't see anything indicate.
I thought it was contact of the car behind there.
76, right?
Yeah. Watch the front right.
Oh, I mean, if you're talking about, that's
there.
That's close. That's close. Now we know. I mean, we want to explain about netcode and stuff like that, right? I mean, if you're new to this, netcode obviously. Well, not obviously, but netcode means that when the driver's within so close, like millimeters and inches, Obviously, in iRacing and any sim racing, when you're calculating all this packet data and all that information between everybody, milliseconds all around the world that the drivers are located in around the certain countries, it has to at some point calculate where's the driver going to be based on the steering angle, the tire angle, all this sort of telemetry information, and then go bang, because it doesn't get that information quick enough, and then just calculates it for a second. I believe that when it comes to oval racing, James, it's very, very, very accurate as to that. So that it's so hard to dictate. Like, did they actually contact, or was it a scripted error from netcode? That's the difficult part. Isn't it?
Yeah, I think the thing is as well is it basically deems that there should have been contact. And that's the situation. It's a wonderful system that basically kicks in and says, oh, there should have been contact there. Yeah. So he instantly, and you can see it at times blatantly obvious with certain things once more, where the car shoots off in directly the opposite way, and you're sitting there going, hold on a minute, that ain't right here, Gov. You know what I mean? He can't just go hurtling off, in that direction. You can't come into a right-hander and then shoot off 45 degrees to the left. It's just not physically possible. So, we can safely say, if we got a picture of the front right of Hazlitt, I think it was, coming into that situation, then maybe we might be able to see if there was a gap. But I think, as you say, it's possible there. It would go down, I think it's the front right, I think it is. There we go. And now we can see whether or not there was.
See, there isn't.
There isn't contact. No. But I believe there may have been a little bit of that packet loss in the middle that's caused that once more, because we can see it starting sliding there as well. So we're going to be up and running in green very, very shortly.
Yeah, you're talking about milliseconds, James, and we're going to go green flag. But yeah, we'll get onto that subject if we get into the caution, of course, with even other sports. Go, green.
Yeah, Ryan Hyatt takes the lead there once more. He is through and done. Herzog's on the outside line. Mark Herzog is pushed out onto the outside line. Now everybody else is going to try and come underneath him. I think Herzog's managed to get back in. He did get back in behind Dickens, but boy, oh boy, that could have been a lot worse. And there's somebody else out on the high line as well. I think that might be Nick Howder, and Howder's just been pushed out. He's going down the order once more, quick as anything here. But it's still action-packed on lap 41. Still much going on. Still a lot more racing to go, as we've still got 64 on the clock.
And Flowers pushing again there, James. Always applying the pressure into the rest of the field there. Getting those overtakes done. 3 once again. So in P3, got 3 overtakes. But Justin wants it. Justin's bringing it to Ryan. Justin's going up on the high line. Now, that's going to be interesting. Ryan's going to go defensive as crazy. I mean, he's hungry like a wolf, isn't he? The car livery's like a wolf. Justin is going to be the predator at the moment, and the prey could be Ryan.
Yeah, he's trying to get in there. He's climbing all over him. Don't go on that outside if you're not going to make that move.
Now, he has to.
He's got to commit to it, but he can't get in again. This is the thing. It's that one line racing. All Hyatt's got to do is just open up the steering a little bit on Hazlitt. Keep him up on that outside line. Now bring everybody else into play. Flowers coming in underneath him as well. Dickens is going to have a go. Herzog can have a go. I tell you what, Hyatt can play a massive part for Hazlitt's race here. He just leaves him strung out there. I'm just going to run alongside you. You're going to be up on that high line. Everybody's going to come up underneath you. And now you're just going to go further back. And he's going to be there as well. He might manage to get back in. He almost managed to get back in. But is he going to get back in? He did manage to slot back in. But if I was Louis Flowers, I would have run that deep every single lap to make sure he stayed on that outside line. Make sure he got hung up there. And for Hyatt, all he had to do was just run side by side with Hazlitt, and Hazlitt just would have gone backwards faster than going forwards. Very, very, very intriguing racing here, because as soon as they get out, they've got to get on, which means overtaking Biggles is going to be very, very difficult.
Well, we know that,
Don't get it done, you're going to be strung off.
Well, exactly on top of it. We're getting close to halfway through the race now, so this is great. We're getting more green flag racing, which is what we want to see. We want to see who is the best driver, who is the driver that's going to take the best gambles, stick their nose in there, be the defensive driver like Ryan is being the defensive driver at the moment there. shutting the doors when he needs to shut them. And on top of it, remember, there's still going to be one thing lurking in the background, James. They got to take care of those tires, because they're the 4 important parts. Doesn't matter how great of a driver you are, James, and how fast the car is. If your 4 points of contact fail you, you're in big trouble. Simple as that.
Yeah, but they've got no tyre changes.
No,
and as
so,
we heard from Al
protect them.
Corey earlier on, we've heard from Al Corey, he ran, I think it was a 25 or a 35 lap stint, and literally they were down at 80%. You know, they've got 105. They've got to go 3 times as that. And if you're taking it down 20 by 20 by 20, they're going to be on nearly 40% at the end. So it could be almost Bambi on ice by the time they get to this one. It depends on what they're going to do and how much power they're going to put through them wheels itself. That's going to be one of the defining objects. They've got to learn to try and control what they're doing, and they've got to learn to do it well. The problem is they can't go out and run a high line to conserve tyres like you normally would on an oval circuit. They haven't got that option. They try and run that high line to conserve, they're just going to go down and back and back and back, and it isn't going to be physically possible. So they've got to run with the pack. They've got to run as the pack. The problem is, the more you run, the tighter you turn, the more scrub you put on your tyres, the more where you're going to induce are going to come to the end of this race. So let's see what happens here with his front 5 of Hyatt, Hazlitt, Flowers, Dickens and Herzog, because they're really, I would have thought, the ones who are looking, maybe Slaughter as well, if he can get up there. But I think at the moment it's possibly out of them 5 to see how this one turns out.
And the one thing I do like, James, unfortunately this track is so short and sweet, you don't really have much time. I do like, you know, when we do, and of course tune in, definitely. Ooh, a little bit of a tank slabber there. Starting to get adventure of the wall is on a super speedway or something like that, James. You get to see a chance for us to go through the broadcast and have a look at how the drivers are steering the angles through the different corners and stuff like that, comparing from car to car to car, and then seeing the angle and seeing who's fighting the car more, who's fighting the tires, who's taking care of the tires a little bit better. Out in the chat there, please let us know from driver's experience, how are you feeling? Who is struggling? Who is trying to take care of the tires? In that dirty air, of course, is a little bit different, isn't it, James? Because you don't have the chance to sit there and nurse your tires as much, because you're under massive attack, as some of these drivers are right now.
Yeah, I can tell you one thing. If Hazlitt goes out wide again, coming out of turn 3, Flowers should be in there. He should literally be up the inside of him. Hazlitt cannot seem to get out of turn 3 accurately enough to get across that door and close that line. There you go again. Now into 1 and 2. Watch Hazlitt's exit coming out of turn 3. He just can't seem to be able to manage that inside and climb off that inside line. He's got to try and close that door in, and he just isn't doing it. He's too far up. And I wouldn't be surprised on the left-hand side at the moment if there's going to be a car underneath us very, very shortly here of Louis Flowers, because he really needs to be capitalising on the fact that Hazlitt has got 3 and 4, and he's struggling with 3 and 4. He's running high. You can see him coming off the corner. There you go. Up he goes, just that lane higher. Now Flowers is going to get the nose up. He's not going to do it as well. Hazlitt's giving him, he's almost feeding in, dangling that carrot, but Flowers is not feeding there. You know, for Flowers, he's got the opportunity. He can see that Hazlitt cannot get that car brought down any lower than what he's already running. That line's open, and he's got to try and get it up the inside. The problem is, for Hazlitt, he's trying to go forward and look behind at the same time, and that is never possible. If you listen to my wife, men can barely multitask at the best of times, let alone look in front and look behind us. So it's going to be very difficult here for what Hazlitt's going to do. But he's got to have the opportunity. Flowers has got to try and get that open, and he's got to try and get him out on that outside line. You get him out, and I guarantee Hazlitt will be out that top 5 within a matter of minutes.
He's going to go for something at the moment there. He said, don't mess with the wife as well, too, as James said, wisely, of course. Anybody's been in a even if it's a girlfriend or wife, you know, you listen. You just sit back at the moment and go, yes, ma'am. I agree completely on that one. Here it is, James. It's our wide riding on board with Lewis Flowers, and he's got a front row seat here. You said about getting your popcorn, my friend. This is it. There's a lot of action, of course, occurring behind, but this is where the top 3 is. And this is what's interesting, as you mentioned at the moment, isn't it? Look at that. Lewis got so much speed coming in there because they're scrubbing it. Seems to me it's going to be kind of on his tyres for the 62 machine, as he could just lift off and drive Miss Daisy.
Got that line. He should get that line there. Oh, he didn't quite get it. You can see how high Hazlitt's running. He's coming off that 3, and he's still running it up to the wall, and he's leaving Flowers. He's teasing him. He's almost just goading him. It's like a fish looking at a fisherman's hook and just pulling it a little bit and going, ha, you can't catch me. Hazlitt's leaving it there as well. He knows Flowers just can't seem to get the run on him. He's utilising the draft of Hyatt to pull him along as quickly as possible. But watch his line coming out of free. He's going to try. No, now he's going to be under pressure. There's contact. There was contact there as well. You can see Hyatt got a little bit of a shake on underneath, and he didn't quite make it. Flowers is dropping back. There you go. Now that's Dickens on the outside. Dickens is on the outside in that 1-2-2. Watch what goes on. If that 40 car behind him, Slaughter can get in. There you go. Hazlitt's tucked right in. Thomas Hazlitt. Howder's going to get tucked in as well. It's going to be very, very difficult for Dickens now to what he's going to do, because he's got that running inside line of Herzog once more, keeping him honest. He's keeping him out there. He cannot get through. Dickens now manages to slip back in after his entry into free was a lot better than the car behind. He was lucky there. I can tell you that much. Dickens was lucky.
Yeah, they are lucky at the moment, because a couple of drivers at the moment are dancing at the fence, James, and that's not a place you want to be dancing with. As Ben, I think, flashed for a second there. There is somebody dancing.
He's out. Hyatt and Hazlitt. Oh, Hazlitt was on the outside. He went to make the move. He's left the door again. Flowers has got the run coming off him. He didn't quite tuck him up just enough there. Hazlitt went for the overtake on Hyatt, and now he's trying to go around the outside. Hyatt is keeping that inside line honest. Now the door's going to be open for Flowers. He's got the back end. He's hooked up there as well. Get in up behind him there, son. Have it, because he's leaving it wide open for you once more. This is it. This is where Hazlitt's going to go back. Can Flowers keep his nose in? Hyatt's just got to back him up a little bit. Back him in, back him in, back him in, back him in. Now he's on the high side. Now Hazlitt's struck and strung out there. All they've got to do is just keep him out there. He's trying to run the high line around the outside. Is he going to get the lead? If Hyatt's going to get Hazlitt's takes it, I think. Oh, he's sweet round the outside. He absolutely turned around and said, James, what are you talking about, son? I'm going to have some of this. And I've just swept round the outside of Hyatt there. Jobs are good, and sneaky.
Sneaky. All right, James. Brilliant work. 35. During all this time, you're counting a lap, just like that, James. 34 to go now. So this is when you do have to start making moves. You can't beat around this track. That's a big power slide. Wasn't that from Ryan coming out there? Ryan's going to lose a lot. Who was it? No, was it Lewis? Somebody's lost a ton of time here, James. Got me in on that one. It's the 62 machine. Here it is. Lewis has lost a bit of time. He's under big pressure there from the in and out burger machine there. Mark getting it done into the fence on the outside. Well, we know the outside can get it done here, James, but then again, you know that Lewis does not want to yield this one too much.
No, he's not going to want to give it up, but unfortunately for Louis there as well, I think he didn't do himself any favours. He's done it. He went down onto that apron. Dickens is now going to string out Flowers. It's now Flowers is going to get hung out to dry, and there ain't going to be a hose pipe of water. Slight little bit of contact there as well. Flowers did manage to make it back in front, but Slaughter got a little bit of loose contact. Didn't quite shut the door on him. And now it's all about what Dickens is going to be able to do here again. It's going to be a fight. We've got on 76
we're
here.
gonna crash.
Round and round we go for Nick Howder. Caution number 4, but that was a great run of racing between lap 40 and lap 77. Awesome run.
If you're not excited about that, that was brilliant. And we got Kevin out there already predicting the finishing order. Good on you, Kev. I mean, good on. Kevin may be our bookie out there, James, if we're going to be taking bets here at the moment. Well, if you're taking a bet on the 15 machine, let's have a look what's happened. This is just one. It may be a concertina effect, so we are just going to have a look at Nick. Got tagged by Al. Yeah. Now that means there's different aspects to this, isn't it, James? It doesn't necessarily mean that Al just crashed into him. I mean, he could have actually lifted quite a bit, and Al's just gone on the continued speed. It's always that difficult, isn't it, when you're looking at in those sort of aspects? But
Yeah, it is. But I tell you what we can do in the meantime, while we're under yellow flags, we'll have a chat with today's sponsor, Mr. Thomas Hood. Good evening to you, Mr. Hood. How are you?
I'm doing well, my man. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. I've just watched great epic running of green, and I was happy as Larry, mate, to be fair. How difficult it is out there on the circuit. We've seen that single line racing. We've seen the fact that if you go out on that outside line, you could end up coming back to the back end of the field. Difficult one to make overtakes on.
It's pretty tight right now. Everybody's still trying to conserve, but they're trying to, to push the pace a little bit, and there's a lot of checking up, so it's hard to get some forward momentum. I've had a couple of dips under a couple of guys and just ended up kind of catching the raw end of it, but it is what it is. We're in top 10. That's what we're looking for today.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Is that the aspiration, top 10, or do you think you can get 5 or further?
No, these are some good guys up here. All the guys on On-Edge Racing and, Hyatt, Harcum, Al, everybody. Everybody's really fast, and it's hard. It's hard to pass these guys. But no, my goal is top 10, and as long as I'm that, I'm happy.
Well, good luck. Thank you very much for sponsoring today there, buddy. Have a good one, and we'll catch up with you soon. See how you get on for the rest of these races, the rest of these laps, I should say.
10-4, my man. Thanks for your time, and I appreciate what y'all do.
No worries. Take care there, bud. Have a good one.
There you go, James. So from Thomas Hood, of course, our race sponsor for the 41 machine. His hometown, all right, you see it there on your screen. Now, James, how's your US geography?
That's a peak.
Yeah, but what state do you think that's from? That's one for you.
Well, it's in a state in America.
Oh, come on. Give me a state. Take a guess. Come on.
That basically gets cold. And
that's one for the chat. Come on, one for the chat. We're going to get ready to go racing, James. So you're just stalling. I like it. You like it, but stall for another 30 laps.
Yeah, in Virginia there as well. Chesapeake in Virginia. Here's Justin Haslett from the same place there as well. He's got VA at the end. That is Virginia. Job done. I'm the king. You're not, as I know my maps. But let's go once more. And also, I'm very quick at typing on Google. By your top 3, Dickens has got the inside line under Flowers. He's got to be careful with Flowers. Otherwise, he's going to be out. He's going to be dropping down. He's got to keep his footing. He's got to wing that outside line. He's got to pray on the way in, and he's got to say thank you on the way out. Otherwise, it's going to be pray on the way in and lose 3 places on the way out. I can tell you that much. Keep your foot in there, Flowers, son. Otherwise, it's never going to happen. It did happen. Flowers prayed on the way in. He now says thank you and settles back into that 4th place. But for Louis Flowers, that could have been more difficult.
Well, what about Mark at the moment, my friend? The In-N-Out Burger. You don't have it in the United States. I don't think you've ever had the In-N-Out Burger. But the California driver at the moment, Mark, has had it. And he's had it to In-N-Out Burger. He's like, I want to be in and out of this race. I want to be out of 12th place and into P1. Make that 11 gain for the 57 machine. You know what? He only has Justin to get it done and only 25 laps.
Yeah, 25 to go here once more. Now we've got a finishing order from JC. He's predicting Haslett. He's predicting Herzog. Then he's going to say Flowers over Slaughter, and then the 45 at the back end of that. Al Corey, you have got, I think, Jason, you need to borrow my bins on that one, mate, because old Corey's down in 13th at the moment. He's got a climb and a half here. It's almost like he's got a Mount Everest job to do this in 24 laps. You're looking at about 7 minutes here, and Al Corey, I think, is going to struggle to go anywhere further than where he is at the moment, sitting in 13th place. But thank you, JC, for putting that in chat. Haslett, Herzog, and Hyatt could be your 1, 2, 3. I don't know if Flowers is quite going to get there yet, Biggles, but we'll have to see. Is Howden now trying to make that move underneath the 28 as well? That's Harmon. Howden has gone through in that lovely liveried machine. You got yellow on your car, it's always lovely. So well done, Nick Howden, on that one. It's just gone up the inside of Matt Harmon. Now with 22 to go on this one, Biggles. It's all going to be about what's going on at the front of the field between Haslett, Herzog, and Hyatt. That's where it's going to be with 21 to go.
I wonder if he has the chicken man on there from Breaking Bad. I couldn't see the bottom of the car there earlier, James, but we won't be focusing too much on that one. We've McLaren's focusing on the sole Canadian driver, and actually because Matt is out of this race, so Paul Matty has let poor Brian Dickens to be all alone here for Old Canada. So let's see if the 22, well, there it is, sorry.
I don't want to point you in the wrong direction there, but you have just called an American and Canadian.
Well, an American is in a country, my friend. It's the Americans.
But Dickens is not a Canadian.
Oh, no. I mean, Jeff Slaughter is. Yes, I'm sorry. Anyway.
Yes, Jeff, you've literally just given Brian Dickens the biggest excuse.
We're going to cut that out later.
Yeah, you're going to be in trouble here. Go on, Dickens. Have him. All direct DMs to Dean Hopton or Biggles in the squad there as well. But Jeff Slaughter, don't try that one. It ain't going to work.
Oh, there's four-way here, James. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, there was nearly three wides going on there once more. Now it's all about who's going to be able to get underneath and who's going to be able to run that inside line, whether or not they're going to have the tyres to run that outside line as well. This is Nick Howder at the back end of these four here with Matt Harmon, Hazlitt and Honeycutt, I think it is, also in that mix at 76 of Honeycutt. You can see, no, you're going to come up, you're checking up. You are checking up all day, baby.
Al's going to catch them soon if they don't hurry up.
He's just been out now. That's it. Whoever that was who just ran on that underneath, that was at 28 as well. And Matt Harmon, he was definitely going to be checking up once more. But let's go jump up to the front if we can, because Hazlitt and Herzog are going at each other here, literally barely 4 tenths apart at the moment. So let's see what goes on at the front end of this field. There we are, Hazlitt and Herzog going at it. Who's going to get this run down to the line? We can see JC's predicting Hazlitt. Me personally, I wouldn't put anything past the hometown of Salinas, California is Mark Herzog. I think he can possibly have this with 14 to go. This is going to be a very quick 4 minutes, guys. Wrap it up, get your drinks. If you're going to get them now, because trust me, in about 4 minutes time, this one's going to be over, and it's going to be very, very difficult for this to go. And I've got a funny feeling it could be Hazlitt's, and it could Herzog and higher in that order.
I get a feeling tonight's going to be a good night, my friend. If you're an In-N-Out burger machine at the moment, I'm going for Mark. Sorry. I'm sorry, Justin. The only reason why I'm going for Mark is that A, he's gained 10 positions for the 57 machine, and B, he has a burger that I haven't had in about 2 years' time from now, because I haven't been in the States. So, yes, I want his dog to win this one. Anyway, there is a lot of action, James. There is other action, but with 12 to go, I'm not sure how much TV time they're going to get, but we'll give them a little bit. How's that? Just a little bit.
Flowers here. He's got Slaughter, Harcum and Dickens behind him. Harcum in that 78 machine. 11 to go. And Hazlitt's opening up the gap to 8 tenths high. It's a further 1.7 back. This group is 4 seconds behind that one. Yeah. Then you're looking at Hood Jr. also in that one once more. Slaughter is now on the outside line. He's going to be praying that Dickens doesn't come underneath him. Now Dickens has decided to make that move. Slaughter's going to try and run him. There's action further up here as well. Leave that door open a little bit, bro, and you are going to go out. There you go. You are going to lose that position to Harcum. Now Dickens is going to tuck up behind Harcum as well. They're also going to string out the 62 of Louis Flowers. Flowers started off so strong. He was like that blossoming sunflower. And now unfortunately, he's been picked by all the bees. And he's just dropping all the way down the order. There you go, once more, Flowers. Yeah, 3 have gone there as well. And now it's all done. 57 manages his rubber well, says JC. He does, but he ain't close enough. JC is 1.3 back. If he ain't careful for Mark Herzog there, he could drop into the clutches of higher, and then he's going to be in trouble. But it's now, this could be the finishing order on the left-hand side. You can see they're fairly spread out around the circuit. You might get a battle from 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th with 7 to go here, but I think at the end of the day, this could be the order they're in, as long as nobody makes a mistake coming down towards this back end of this race.
You're right, James. Look at the traffic at the moment that they're starting to gap. They won't gap. I don't think they'll get 13 and 14 before it even comes into play. And we know how difficult it is to overtake. Oh, fence. There's a bit of fence slapping there. It can that just like that, you can lose it. And if you did tune in the other day, I think, James, didn't I? I called the casting curse, I think, of my career the other day, where a driver was dominating a whole bunch of laps, like, what was it, almost an hour race. just comfortably sitting at the front there, almost like you're watching a Cars movie with that French driver, you know, sipping a coffee, listening to some opera. Had it in the bag, easy peasy, put banker laps after banker laps after banker laps, and then binned it on the very last lap, in the very last couple of corners. So it ain't over, I guarantee you, until you reach that shaky flag, that's for sure. And Justin, only a 4 to go.
Yeah, he has. It's just come over the line. We're on the last 3 now.
Oh, he has got the back marker.
What he doesn't want to be doing is dealing with that back marker. I can tell you that much. He wants to be trying to get through. I think this is Justin Hazlitt. We've got Thomas Hazlitt down in 13th. I think that might actually be Thomas. We're coming under the edge of on that 75. It is there. The Hazlitt's going at it, and hopefully for him, he doesn't proclaim any instruction into that for Justin. Howder's just gone up the inside once more. Here comes Justin Hazlitt. He's going over the line. We're going to be on 2 to go. It's going to be 2 to go. Now it could be good for, I can tell you one thing, Thomas could play a massive part here for his brother on this final lap. Now it's all going to happen. Mark does manage to go through. He doesn't get held up, but your leader's going to come over the line. Now it's going to be Hazlitt. He's going to take this victory. He's done the 105 here at Kern County Raceway. He has gone over the line, and Justin Hazlitt is your winner. What an absolute barnstorming race. Herzog took second, and then Hyatt took third. It was a Triple H front row with Harkham in fourth, just to give us that fourth one there as well. So a Triple H front row with a fourth in there, all at the same time. Absolutely stellar racing from all of these guys. Quick, fast, and as soon as they got spread out there, Biggles, it was all done and dusted. It was over. They were green again, and only 4 cautions.
It is Triple H, isn't it? In fact, if it wasn't Brian in P5, Brian Dickens, it would have been Nick Halter in P6. It would have had a quadruple H. There is a lot of H's. You got Honeycutt, you got Hood, you have Harmon, you have Hazard. You mentioned that, didn't you? We have to call this the Triple Bypass H Racing League at this point, isn't it? But it's fantastic, isn't it, these drivers? So Kevin out there got your early predictions there for the 27 machine, which is correct. And the 57 machine, correct. The 62 machine, unfortunately not correct there. But I'll take, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, that's what Meatloaf said as well, and we all know how he turned out, unfortunately for him. You can see Justin Hazlitt on your screen there as we'll bring you up the unofficial results. I'll say unofficial because we don't know what's going to happen after this, but I think it is as it is there. Now, once more, as we're going to have these results on the screen, Justin Hazlitt has taken the win with Mark Herzog in second and Ryan Hyatt in third and Ben Harkham in fourth. It's all the H's in the front 4. Then you've got Dickens and Howder. So you've got 5 H's in the top 6 with Slaughter, Flowers and Honeycutt Corey rounded off the top 10. Then you've got Thomas Hood Jr. out today's sponsor with Matt Harmon, Thomas Hazlitt. And then you got Oliver Turan, who was 25 laps down, Dustin Rhodes, Grant Parker and Matt Perezzini, who did not take to the start. Now, where is our race winner? Let's get all of these guys in this booth ready for a good old combo here once more, and we'll start off with our winner. Mr. Justin Hazlitt took the lead of the race, said thank you very much, I'm going to take this one. Welcome in, Justin. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. That was a tough one. I definitely broke a sweat in that one.
Yeah, it looked tough, to be fair. And I think the thing is, when you're spinning 18-second laps, mate, and you've got banking all over the place, you've got to make sure you're on that inside line. Otherwise, you're just going to get strung out and you're going to lose positions. It's going to be tough. Mentally fatiguing more, would you say?
Yeah, it was definitely a rhythm track, and if you kind of got out of your rhythm a little bit, it definitely went a little downhill for a bit. Heat the right front up a little too much, and it's a compounding effect. It just gets worse and worse. But I kept it pretty calm. I saved tires a good majority of the run till about lap 70 when I finally decided it was time to go, and got the job done.
How was the tire wear coming towards the end of the race? What was you on? Do you know?
I think at the end there, I can check really quick. I was at 50% on the right front and 60% on the right rear. I heard a couple of the guys in there say they were at about 30-ish to 20 on the right front. So I saved a good amount.
Yeah, I predicted 40. I thought you might have finished off on that 40% mark there as well. But, absolutely extraordinary victory. Did you think you were coming in today with a win?
Uh, I don't know. It was 50-50 because I didn't qualify tonight because I wanted to see if starting in the back if I was going to be able to get my way back up. I was able to move up pretty quick through the heat. I think I started ninth in that and ended up finishing second with the last lap pass on Honeycutt. And then I just played my cards right, stayed safe, and kept the tires nice and cool until the end.
I think we can safely say, Justin, looking at the scores, and mind you, I'm trying to do maths at like 3 in the morning. Safely say that you've probably wrapped up this championship. I don't think you're really going to be under worry about it. You're gonna, we're on race 11. We've only got a 12 race to go, a 12 round series. You could just sit at home next week, can't you, and chill and I don't know, drink tea.
I think I could have done that. I think I did the math last week. I don't have to run. I didn't have to run this race in the next race, and I would have been fine. But that was part of the reason that I started in the rear, just so I could, have some fun with the lads. I think next week I might not run the heat, and I might start from the back in the feature.
All right. And one final question from me before I go. Thomas, brother, what relation is he?
That is my dad.
Oh man,
James, you didn't know that, the old man.
No, I didn't know. Tell Dad I apologize if he watches the broadcast back. All right.
He watches every broadcast, so he'll definitely see that. But no, we get mixed up all the time with that.
Is he proud, Justin? Yeah, go ahead, James.
Is there anyone you want to give a shout out before we let you go there, Justin?
Yeah, obviously I want to thank everybody over at On Edge Racing, OER. That's TA Hood, my dad, Jared Jackson, Brian Dickens, Jeff Slaughter, Nick Halda, a lot of the guys that run in here with me, and of course, the normal is I always have to thank my mom, otherwise she beats me up.
Never upset the lady that feeds you. That is, of course, if you still live at home. Do you still live at home?
Yeah, temporarily, yep.
Well, then don't upset the lady that feeds you, mate. I've learned that thing. All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely as well. Justin, well done for you for taking that victory, dude. I think you've definitely wrapped up the championship now. You don't even have to worry about next week. Sit home, watch it all. I'm sure it will be absolutely amazing. Justin, thank you so much for joining us, and well done on your victory.
Thank you. Have a good night.
And you, Mum. Right, now we'll have a chat to the second place man, Mark Herzog here as well, who has come into the booth and joined me once more. Mark, how are you, dear sir?
I'm doing quite well. That was a interesting, fun race. That's how well I'm doing right now.
Well, do you know what? I actually really enjoyed that. I know it was short, sharp, and 18-second laps, and before you know it, an hour, 105's done and dusted. Concentration levels, we spoke to Justin, he said it was quite tough as well, trying to have to make sure that you're staying on your line. You can't leave the door open. The car will come underneath, and before you know it, you're all the way at the back end of the field. It's tough out there, Mark, on a half mile, isn't it?
Yeah, these cars. They don't really have enough power to really pull a pass on the inside. So it takes 3 laps to get it if you can get your nose into there, and then hopefully you're able to complete it without getting into the guy on the outside.
I think that was always a fascinating thing throughout this. It was how you were going to get that overtake done. Now, we saw Justin do it round the outside, which, boy, oh boy, he took kahunas from Mexico to make sure he got that one done. But for you itself, did you think you were going to try and stay with Justin? He did look speedy here this evening.
Yeah, once I got past Ryan, I was able to kind of run the same lap times, and he had that 0.3 seconds, but I'm sure his tires were in better shape than mine because he was up front most of the night. So, but hats off to him. He ran an excellent race, and I'm happy to finish up where I finished up.
Yeah, well, he finished 50 and 60, so 50 on the right front, 60 on the right rear. I know some of the guys were, I predicted about 40% that you would have left there as well. I know some of the guys were down at 30. So it was always going to be tough on the straight run. Did you come in and think, oh man, this is just going to be caution after caution after caution? Because I'll tell you what, when that caution come out on lap 1, I thought we were in for a long one here, Mark. I've got to be honest.
No, it gets once everybody gets in the line because of the fact that it's hard to pass. You got to wait for somebody to make a mistake, or you got to, like Justin did it one or two times, go around the outside and make it that way. But yeah, once we get in the line, it's not too bad unless you got too much wheel cranked into it coming off the corner, then the back end want to come around on you.
No, it definitely would do there as well. But Mark, well done on your second place there, sir. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
Just all the guys at the TPB, James, you and your team for putting on a heck of a nice broadcast for us. And then I got to thank my wife, as always, for letting me spend a couple hours out here in the garage with you guys.
Don't forget the wife, mate. Never forget the wife, the most important person ever. But Mark, it's been a pleasure talking to you as it always is there, bud. Look forward to catching up with you soon, no doubt. But have a good one, fella.
Thank you. You too.
Well, there you go. That was Mark Herzog. And now we can have a chat with our third place man. He led. Him and that tiger in that livery led. And he led the race and he almost could have wrapped it up. But he ended up finishing down in third place. The tiger got his nails clipped. But let's just have a chat with Ryan Hyatt. Ryan, how are you, sir?
I'm doing all right. How about y'all?
I'm very well, thank you very much, mate. I just watched some epic racing. I thought this was absolutely incredible. What was it like for you?
It's kind of slick because in practice I kept spinning, so I was just trying my best to keep it going straight the entire race and do the best I could for tire saving, but that's about it.
Yeah, did you think you could get the win? Did you think when you were out in front that it was going to be all yours?
I don't know. I just was trying to figure out if I was saving enough right front and whatnot, and I think that I was entering too low there more towards the end. I literally bought the track like an hour before we raced, so I was just learning.
Yeah, I think going forward though, finishing in that third place is going to give you a nice little bunch of points. You're above everybody around you in the table here, Ryan. Do you think maybe getting that third place away from our Corey, is it a possibility?
I haven't looked to see how close it is yet.
Well, you come in, I'm trying to do 29 behind him going into this race.
I mean, it's possible, but he's pretty good, so I don't know how the next race will play out, really. So it's possible, but I don't know. We'll see.
Well, let's hope you bring that battles there as well, sir. And as we go on to the Hickory Motor Speedway as well, let's see if you can get up there, can take that place away. Anyone you want to shout out before we let you go here this evening?
I want to shout out the Jungle again. They were who were on the car for the Dega race this past Sunday. I want to shout them out. Thanks for coming on board, and hope you guys have a great night.
And you there, bud. Well, thank you so much for chatting to us. It's been a pleasure. As always, it is Ryan, and we'll catch up with you soon, no doubt.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one.
And you take care. So there you go. That was Ryan Hyatt. That's the chats with a 1, 2, 3 here as well as we're rounding out from Kern County for the On Edge Racing, sponsored by Thomas Hood Jr. this evening. Don't forget, guys, if you want to get yourself involved in some epic racing, there's 4 nights of racing going on at the Triple Bypass League, triplebypassracing.com. Very, very clean here as well. We predicted 7. Some had 8. Even Austin Draper had 12. Werrod said 5. And we ended up with 4 cautions at a very difficult track like Kern County Raceway. Biggles, it's been an interesting one as it always is. A very exciting race here. I didn't think we'd get quite the excitement that we have done, but boy, oh boy, we definitely did get it from this one.
These drivers gave us that excitement, James, and of course they always delivered. I was glad that it was a lot of green flag racing for so many of those laps that we had, 105. So I'm looking to see that. New track for us, but not necessarily a new track for other drivers, but a great track, obviously, for the likes of Mark gaining 10 positions finish in P2. Of course, don't forget about Ben Harcum. Just missed out on the podium there in P4, but gained for the Boot 2 Gas team, 11 positions. Obviously, a great day for some drivers and not a great day for others, but at the business end of the racing there, who can really stop the man on the top of the timesheets, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Justin Haslett, as we say, think has pretty much wrapped up that championship. It will be between Corey, Jeff Slaughter, Al Corey, Thomas Haslett, James Honeycutt, maybe Ryan Hyatt by the time we go into next week at Hickory, guys. But stay tuned for that one. More action coming up on the JPB YouTube channel. Keep an eye on the schedule as there's a lot of racing as well. And if you want to get yourselves involved in the Big Dreams Little Voices charity event we got running this weekend on Sunday, get yourself involved. Session open up at 12 p.m. GMT, 1 p.m. for qualifying. GT4s and TCRs raising money for the Rainbow Trust. Minimum of 2 people in your team as we're going for a 6-hour endurance of Brands Hatch GP circuits. So tune in live for that one on Sunday. And one of the things that sets it apart, don't forget as well, is I'm going to be joined in the booth by children. Some of the children of the drivers are joining me in the booth. And as you know what they say,
Daddy.
Yep.
Daddy.
Never work
Can I commentate?
Yeah,
sorry.
Just for a bit if you want.
Oh.
But never work with animals and children. Well, I've decided to do the latter. So there you go, guys, as well. But I think that's going to round it off here for this evening. I've been James Parfitt alongside Dean Biggles up here in the JPB booth. And as always, guys, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.